So in our last adventure, we got quite a bit done. We finished exploring Dragon Barrow and found some like oodles and oodles of treasure, which was quite good. A weapon of a long dead dragon slayer, happily called Dragon Slayer. That makes sense. and as you kind of explored the rest of the Barrow, almost dying a couple of times from a naive belief that there were no traps in this place, you did manage to clear out the rest of the will-o'-the-wisps and other unfriendly creatures in here. You found a undead horse skeleton that you made your mount and rode back to town, which is pretty cool. And you had no problem bringing it into a public space and scaring pretty much everyone with it. You also managed to recover a couple of cool items. One, a necklace of fireballs that flings fireballs at people. And another magical instrument, a lute that plays illusions as you strum it along, which is pretty handy. Kind of completing your mission, you got back up, talked to Xanth, the centaur who wanted to ally with you so that you could kind of rescue and save a portion of his woods and his homeland for an incurring half-orc and orc invasion. You decided you wanted to drop off some stuff at Phandalin first and meet Xanth at the location that he marked on your maps. You returned to Phandalin and you essentially turned in your quest to Harbin Wester, who basically threw more money at you. And in your attempts to avoid Helga at the inn, you were unsuccessful as it was a little bit too late to do so. And you had a very awkward night as Seducius got a little too drunk and was, I guess, unable to satisfy her needs. And all you know is you woke up in the morning and instead of having your bill covered as you normally do, you found that there was a bill. So apparently you did not do as much as she had hoped. And on that awkward note, you decided to leave Stonehill Inn and journey forward. As you read through the mission board, you did find that there were a couple new missions. One was actually near Falcon's Hunting Lodge, which was also near Xanth's kind of area in the woods in Neverwinter Wood. So you opted to meet up with Xanth there first, kind of figure out what he needed, and then you would cut down back to Falcon's Hunting Lodge and figure out kind of where to go from there. So that's where we'll pick up today. You guys, it's day, you've had a rest, you've all kind of stalled up, and you are basically in the center of Phandalin after just making the decision to kind of travel to Xanth's location in Neverwinter Wood, which, as you're seeing on the map, is the green kind of highlighted circle up near the north. What would you guys like to do?
Okay. Tell me one more time where we are currently. I'm sorry, Nate.
No worries. You are kind of, if you look almost at the very bottom of the map, there's an area called Phandalin. That's the city you're in. And you opted last time to go as far north as you could to that green circle that I've highlighted for you, which is about 2 days off.
The green circle down below, right? Not the green little patch.
Yeah, you're currently at the green circle down below, and you want to go to the green circle up top.
I don't remember what we were talking about last time. I know we had a plan. I think we were going to go back and find that dude from like the Dragon Burial Grounds, if I'm not mistaken, is what we wanted to do last time. So I don't know when you guys want to stick with that plan, if you guys want to change it up since we're here.
Yeah, I think we take a quest off of Harbin's door, and we were gonna do both. We're gonna do like kill two birds with one stone kind of a thing.
Yep, we were, and I think last time we were talking about kind of like the priority order of our quest. If we were going to do Harbin's first, and then that dude from the dragon bird, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the quest I think you guys pulled off the wall because there was 3 that were on there. One was Dragon Borrow. You just ended up kind of doing it on its own. The one you pulled off the wall was the Woodland Manse quest because of its proximity to the other 2 locations that you already know. So one, Xanth's area is in green. The Woodland Manse area is that red circle, and then Falcon's Lodge is in orange. So you opted to take the Woodland Manse because you're basically going to go to Xanth first and then swing back down to the Manse because they're all within about, a couple hours, a few hours walk of each other.
Yeah. Personally, I am still down to follow that plan we discussed, unless you guys want to mix it up.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Let's do it.
All right,
So just to confirm, you guys are heading towards Xanth's location?
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you say that name? Is it like Zanth?
Here, it's Xanth, Xanth.
Oh, wow.
Like,
Xandria.
it's right. Xanth, the Centaur. It's Xanth, the Centaur.
My son watched Onward again last night.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I cried again and thought about you the whole time.
Why wouldn't you? It is a magical, awesome show. Have I shown you the Funko Pops that I have from it?
No!
Yeah, hold on real quick.
Okay, so I've been watching Westworld.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to catch up.
That's so good.
So Westworld is like a sick and twisted futuristic version of what I feel D&D would turn into in like 100, 200 years.
Yeah, like if D&D was real, that's what would happen.
Bro.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm tripping over how this show is going. I've been almost done with season 2 and I'm like,
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
You are definitely the older brother, and we are all the little brother in this scenario.
yes.
I feels it.
Like,
I feels it.
this big bro.
All right. So we are kind of heading out of Phandalin. Anything we want to do before we leave the town?
Seducius is ready to book it out of there. Let me just tell you.
Don't blame Seducius. He just wants to get out of that awkward. You ever like think back to something real dumb in your life or something you've like really been embarrassed about and like you shudder and like you're like, man, what the fuck? Like out loud you're talking to yourself about how stupid this was and someone catches you like what is happening. This is probably gonna happen to Seducius later is what I assume. Every time he passes the stone hill, it's like, oh, that was a bad decision.
I'm gonna mount the freaking skeleton horse all day when I'm there and have everyone aboard me.
Well, that's fine. You're not gonna mount Helga, so it won't matter.
So,
I was curious to where that ending of that sentence was. Like, what?
can I take the skeleton horse with me? Can I ride it there?
You can ride it there, yes. I will say if you ride it there too, you'll still have to rest, but you can rest pretty close to that location. Especially if Torin opts to also change into a riding horse as well. Torin, one thing you might want to do. One thing you might want to do as well while we're kind of moving, I think at level 5, which you leveled up to, you get a higher challenge rating, and I think you actually might get some creatures that swim now. So you might want to just double check.
Dope.
What you've got available to you now. Just a quick FYI.
Let's see here.
While you're doing that, so you do head out of Phandalin as you're all kind of riding each other. Who is along with Seducius and who is riding Torin?
How about
Clock out and go home.
I don't know what to say. Choose for me.
We'll say that Flux is riding behind Seducius, and Zendri is riding atop Torin.
Love it.
And Sless will also be on top of Torin.
Maybe a dolphin. Have I seen
see.
a dolphin? Is that possible?
Probably.
Wait, what are you right now?
I am like a huge horse, basically. Like
a war horse.
War horse, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, dope.
That's dope.
So you guys make it out of town. It's pretty early in the day. You actually make it a pretty decent way through. I would like the riders. So in this case, it'll actually be Torin and and Seducius, if you could both roll a survival check for me. We'll say since you've been here a couple times before, I'll let you go at advantage because you've gone through this portion of the wood a few times now.
I just do it twice then, right?
Yeah, what you can also do after you type in that check, if you do space ADV, it'll do it for you automatically.
Gotcha, okay.
19 mode.
That's cool.
Nice.
Take that.
All right. So yeah, you guys get through pretty easily. Like you're moving through this this space. In fact, you feel like you could probably get there almost in a full day. It's kind of up to you if you want to try to rest. It's getting pretty late in the day. As you kind of get probably within, maybe 5 miles at most of where you expect Xanthus told you to go. The trees do seem to get a little bit closer together here, and the sun is pretty much through the tree line, so it is nighttime. You've got maybe another hour's worth of travel to try to push if you wanted to, or you could just take a rest here if you'd like.
Personal opinion, team. I had a rough night the other night that I don't remember at Stonehill. I would love to get a good night's rest before we go kill some things. Before we do a different kind of playing.
Fine.
Are we gonna go to Falcon's place, or are we not there yet?
You're not quite there. You could probably actually make it to Falcon's place. It would just be kind of later in the evening. I think if I remember last time that you guys opted not to, because Zendri and you remembered that Falcon doesn't really like go help on quests. So you can if you'd like to. It's kind of up to you. I think you guys opted. It's true. I think you guys opted last time to go right to Xanth's on the last session. But again, up to you what you want to do now.
What do you think?
I mean,
camp out, or do you want a comfy bed? And why?
Personally, I'm still feeling whatever I drank the other night, but you're more than welcome to have some wine if you want to hang out with Falcon. I'm open for either, as long as I get a good night's sleep.
Well, what about the rest of you?
If we're looking to get a good night's sleep, I would consider getting a good spot to sleep. That way we can get some quality rest and be ready to rock and roll.
And we did run into those like orc things in these woods last time, so
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
All right. Then let's go to your good old friend Falcon and see if he'll spare us a room again.
Okay.
So you make it to Falcon's Hunting Lodge pretty much with ease. Nothing really seems to be in your way. You've managed to get there pretty quickly in a day, which is pretty solid. As you arrive in this location, you do notice that the like walls and the gate have been heavier fortified. As you walk up to the gate, at the top you do see a figure that you recognize to be Corbin, kind of the older steward, guardsman of this lodge. And he sees you and he says, "Hello down there."
Hi, Corbin, we're back.
Hello.
Excellent. Are you staying the night?
Yeah, I believe we are.
Of course. And he kind of like squints, like he's basically BSing, trying to see if he recognizes you. And he does eventually, as he kind of stares. He's, "Oh, okay. I'll be right down." And he like walks over. You hear the like gate bar like, and he like swings it open for you as like the single door gate opens up, and you can walk inside and go into the lodge if you'd like, or talk to Falcon a bit before you go to rest. Corbin makes it known like he can take you right to the guest rooms if you prefer, since he's recognized you. Kind of up to you what you'd like to do here.
I think we should go right to the guest rooms since we all kind of feel like we need some rest. I don't know. What do you think, Seducius? You Tucker, do you want to go night-night?
You tuckered out.
Sleep?
I'll go night-night.
I need to sleep to forget everything from the past 24 hours. So I'm gonna sleep. Whatever. If you want to go and get some wine, you're more than welcome to. But this one night, I'm opting out.
All right. Well, I think we should still stay together because you're right. I think I remember that Falcon guy being a little creepy, just a little. I don't know, Zendri. He was kind of.
He was a little off.
Although attractive, kind of.
Quite attractive. Quite attractive.
Quite. Maybe I'll get a glimpse, but I don't want to talk to him. So I think maybe we'll just go to the guest room. Maybe I'll ask him to join us for breakfast. Who knows? I think we just need to get some rest. So.
Indeed.
I agree. Let's do it.
All right. So you guys do. Yeah, please.
Than me?
What?
Do you think he's more handsome than me? What's going on here?
I do actually. Yeah. You've got too much of a fan club going on.
It's only because I'm hungover. Just give me a few hours.
All right. Well.
Just give me 2 hours.
We'll be the judge of that tomorrow.
That's funny. All right, so Corbin does show you into the guest rooms, kind of near the north side of the lodge, and you find a, similar place to what you found before. Pretty comfortable, if modest, location to sleep with enough cots for all of you. You all stay in there and go to sleep. Is anyone keeping watch, or are you all just gonna pass out here?
Lucius is already passed out.
Okay, so Lucius is asleep.
Wow, dude.
So Celeste is also asleep. He didn't ask or check. He's down.
He's down for the count.
I'm gonna go to sleep too.
Yeah,
I don't feel like keeping watch.
I feel like I took watch last time. It's cool.
Well, is there a need for one of us to keep watch right now?
You feel pretty safe and secure in this location.
Yeah, we could just go to sleep.
Let's get some rest.
Cool. So you guys do sleep. You get a very comfortable night's sleep. Nothing seems to be strange or out of the ordinary. And you awake in the morning at dawn, rested and ready to go. I will probably put this out there as well. As you awaken, Sless is not in the room.
Oh no.
Lost him.
Odysseus, what happened to Sless? What'd you do to him?
Oh God, did I not remember something again? I feel like I was behaving. I feel great. I don't know what happened to Sless. Maybe I had to go.
That's quite accurate. I don't think you ever behave.
Oh man.
How you feeling, bud? You doing good?
Yeah, I feel like $1 million. Do I look like $1 million? How do I look?
Not quite.
Oh my God. Okay, tough crowd over here.
Maybe 100,000. I'll stick to 100,000. Gotta keep you in check. Gotta keep you in line.
I'll take it. Man, I feel great. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna have some breakfast? Are we gonna
let's
some
go
things?
eat. Let's get our protein on.
Yeah.
That way we're ready to go for this next mission.
For
What
sure.
do you say?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Maybe I can catch a glimpse of Falcon. I don't want to talk to him, guys. So if he tries to talk to me, just,
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
see the Falcon again too. I need to see how I stack up.
I just need to, I just want to glance at him. Maybe get a whiff of his aura.
Okay,
whatever.
now you're just being weird. Let's go eat.
Hey, takes one to know one, Seducius. Chill.
So you guys do kind of go across the lodge and into the main area through the kitchen, kind of like you guys were escorted before. As you walk through the kitchen to get into the lodge, you do see a recognizable older woman, Pell, who's kind of over there cooking. And as she sees you guys come in, she says, "Oh, well, welcome in, everybody. It's so good to see you again."
Hi.
Hi.
Good morning, Queen of the Kitchen. How are you?
And, oh, you flatter me. That's such a nice name. Will you all be staying for a little bit of breakfast then?
I think we will.
Yes.
Excellent. I was just about to make some sausages for your friend in there with the horns,
Oh, Celeste.
Yeah, he's been talking. He's been talking with Falcon for a bit before he went out on his daily run.
Oh, look, he's closing on your man over there. You better go take a look.
Oh,
I
you.
did.
Well, he's not my man. He's more of like, a son to me in a way. I take care of him.
Okay, alright. I like that. Compassion. You don't see that too often these days.
You don't. You're right, boyo. You're right.
What do you guys want to do? You guys want to go crash Celeste's party over there or what?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we found him because I feel like we kind of weren't really looking for him, but all right.
You can't lose that big bastard.
True. Those horns are hard to miss for sure. Yeah, let's go hang out, see if we can chat with our buddies.
Yeah, Lady Pell, we would love to eat some breakfast with our friend Celeste, if that's okay with you.
Oh, of course. You'll have to see yourselves. I'm so sorry. I'm just in the middle of cooking here, but it's right through the door if you want to just grab a seat wherever you feel most comfortable.
We absolutely will.
Excellent.
Thanks, pal.
You're welcome. You're such a sweet one. And as she's kind of like back to cooking, you hear like humming over the kitchen. Just like, and like you guys walk into the room. And in front of you is the familiar lodge with just like all of the taxidermy trophies just everywhere. There's like a bunch of like heads that are stuffed mounted on the walls. There's like a stuffed bear like just up on like and in his mouth he's like holding like a little basket with like candies and shit because that's the kind of tchotchke that's in here. And at one of the tables in front of you, kind of seated in a long bench, is Celeste eating a bit of breakfast that was brought to him earlier. And across from him is the familiar handsome man known as Falcon, with a kind of really square jaw, short crop, dark hair, and like fur lined everything, but mostly this like bear fur kind of wrapped on his shoulders and stuff. And they are mid-conversation currently.
What are you doing?
She's like,
He's just gonna slide right in.
Oh.
What?
Well, hi there. It's good to see you, I guess. It's quite the entrance.
Yeah, it is always good to see me. It's good to see you too. You're chit-chatting with my friend Les here. What are you guys talking about?
Well, I wouldn't say we were chit-chatting. This was kind of some important conversations we were having. He looks over at Celeste and like almost asks like if he's okay to be part of this conversation. Celeste kind of gives him a little bit of a nod and like almost like a shrug and less of like a nod. He's like, well, I was just telling your friend here about some of these half-orcs that have been congregating. I think I might have mentioned it last time. I know you were here about a 10-day ago or so. So I just, I was talking to him a little bit. It sounds like you were actually coming up here to help a bit. But sounds like you had a prior engagement.
Indeed. We have someone that we met along our journey that we're going to meet to take care of a very similar issue as what's going on in the rest of these woods. We're going to try and take care of a couple things while we're up here.
Well, I mean, I guess I appreciate it. Your acquaintance here, I guess. Accomplice, colleague, I'm not sure. Your guys' relationship sounds real strange. So he mentioned he might be willing to stay around these parts a bit longer and maybe help me fortify a little bit, because it's the first time I've seen that many in one place.
When Celeste makes up his mind, there's no changing it. So if he wants to stay here and help you fortify, I think that'll be great. While we go adventure on, just take good care of him for me, please. He's a little sensitive at night.
It's strange for someone with horns, I guess, but not here to judge,
Yeah, hard on the outside, soft on the inside kind of thing. You'll figure it out.
I got it with that. I know how to just play an old cowboy. That's what it is. I nailed it. He doesn't say anything else. That's all he gives you.
Are you guys sitting down too? What's going on?
Yeah. I think we're like eating now.
Yeah, as you guys are sitting, Pell has shown up with sausages for all, some eggs, and some juices and things to drink. You notice she brings some food that she kind of lovingly gives to Falcon. You also notice that Falcon does seem to get a slightly bigger portion than everybody else.
Of course.
So Falcon, we found this dragon graveyard thing. You ever heard of something like that?
Oh yeah, it's the Dragon Bar out there. It's not a unknown location. Hope y'all didn't go too close to it. The place is dangerous.
Let me tell you, good sir, we went deep in that. We had some trouble in there, but we made it out in one piece. The stories and weapons will make our killing of these orcs a lot easier. Have you ever ventured inside one of these places?
Well, it's not really my cup of tea. And to be quite honest, I'm not really in the mood for anyone's fishtails, so...
Oh, they weren't fishtails. They were whisktails. But I get it. We got a lot of food over there, so I'll let you eat.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that then. And he immediately has zoned you out and started talking or started eating kind of in his food.
While he's eating, I'm gonna whisper to Flux, like, you really like this guy? What has he got that I don't? He's a big mood over here.
He's a man of few words. Take note.
So
I just sipped my coffee after that.
You get the sense that Falcon heard you say that, and he doesn't really say anything about that. He just keeps on eating his meal, and he finishes his food after a few minutes, and he says, I was maybe raised a little bit different than y'all, but where I come from, you don't got to talk a lot to prove you're good at what you do. And he kind of gives a little nod to the women and just walks upstairs.
Wow, someone pissed in his coffee.
What are you gonna do about that?
I'm not gonna do anything about that. I'm gonna go take care of this guy's problem for him. That's what I'm gonna do while he goes upstairs and, I don't know, does what? Whittle some wood while he whistles all day. We're gonna go kill some stuff. You girls gonna take a cold shower or something before we go, or what?
No. I can control myself, unlike you. I'm fine.
We have a lot more control over that.
I'd like to test out that theory someday after we're done killing some orcs.
Yeah, let's go kill some stuff.
Just take some notes from Falcon and maybe we'll talk.
Maybe we will. Alright, I feel great. Gordon, how you doing over there?
You haven't gotten enough from Helga?
What? Who?
Exactly.
You haven't gotten enough?
Oh,
You haven't had enough already?
Hey, let's change the subject. Gordon, how you doing?
Oh, good. I don't like these kind. I'm ready to get moving.
Did you get enough to eat to fill up that big spider horse belly of yours today?
Yeah, I got a little something. It was real good.
That's good. Okay. All right. Well, we got some killing.
What are you doing over here? What are you doing?
Causing trouble for him. Causing trouble.
Sounds like it. I'm all about the business, not the ladies. Wasted time.
Wow. Oh, good.
Man, I feel great. Everyone's in a mood today. When you do those big spiders, just make sure you keep the big furry butt out of it. I don't want to see that.
I don't need to mess around with that stuff. I just
There's
here
a lot
for
of
what I
sass
gotta
in
do.
this one,
See, Torn's a little more like Falcon in my opinion. He's a little more my taste.
Interesting. Okay, well.
Seducious, it's time for us to get moving. Let's go.
Alright, let's go.
More action, less talky.
Yes,
Less
more
talky, more fighty.
Let's go.
Unless you give me something of value, we can stay.
Let's go.
So you do leave the lodge and kind of head towards the location that Xanth marked on your map. You do notice as you seem to kind of travel, every 15, 20 minutes you're going deeper into the woods, it just feels different. You notice the air feels heavier. There's more moisture in the air. It almost feels like there's a storm coming, but you don't notice clouds in the sky. I would like everyone to roll a perception check for me. And I assume we're not. I mean, you might be riding on the undead horse, but Torin, I assume you're not wild chipping because it's like within a couple hours walk.
Yeah, I'm gonna do just myself.
Okay.
Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh, and that's myself right there. Boom.
Nailed it. Yeah, so you guys definitely see this as you're kind of getting through. So like as I said earlier, you are noticing that the environment seems to be changing. It's still the woods, like you still see the same trees. They just seem darker, like there's this aura of weirdness. As you guys are walking through, you do notice that, the trees kind of almost tighten up and there's really only one path to go through. And above this path, you look up and you see pretty high up in the trees, like right before where it gets too dense to see it in the canopy, there is a dark rope, and hanging from this rope are what appears to be 10 twig dolls that are just kind of hanging by their necks from this rope.
You guys see it?
That's creepy.
Yeah, I'm not really digging that.
I'm not okay with that at all. Can we check for a trap?
Yeah. What are you looking for? Any specific?
Can I have that?
I think you do.
Or like an Arcana check or something?
If you want to roll an Arcana check, feel free. See if there's anything magical.
I'm doing it.
That you're getting off of these things. And
Yeah, find traps.
you do have find traps, yes.
Can we do an ex-girlfriend check? One of my exes used to make dolls like this. It's really creeping me out. Not gonna lie.
I'll tell you what. I mean, are you saying Seducius actually has an ex-girlfriend in his life that's done that before? Why not? We'll play it. Roll a history check. See what happens. Flux, with that Arcana check as well, you do kind of recognize these a little bit because you came across something similar at the loggers camp. These are some type of dolls meant for ill omen. You're not 100% sure what they do. Touching them inherently doesn't cause harm usually, but you'd need to check them out a little bit more to know exactly what these ones do. Seducius, with that history check, you don't even remember if you have a girlfriend. Like, what? Huh? Yeah.
There's nothing friendly about it. Nothing friendly about it.
Correct. They're like, while they're all kind of strung up at different heights, a few of them are actually in reach. You could grab one and pull one down.
Yeah, I enjoy you guys can have fun.
I'm not gonna touch that. I remember these things. You guys remember seeing stuff like this during the monster bug thing that we just dealt with? Yeah, I'm good. We should all watch our. Yeah, remember those monster bugs like a week ago that we were doing with the loggers camp thing?
Oh,
Yeah, that's just there. So I'm feeling this is not safe. So we should all let's just watch our backs, okay? Please.
I can use my find trap spell, can't I?
Good stuff.
Yeah, you can if you'd like.
So
Let me see.
it says 120 feet. Does that mean that it'll detect up to 120 feet?
Yep, anything within 120 feet. And these dolls are within 120 feet of you. So if you wanted to see if there was some kind of trap, you could check for it, yes.
Did I check for any... after I'll let her find the trap or not first.
You guys think that's a good idea? I should try for that.
Yeah, go for traps.
You're a
Make it
trap queen. Let's go.
How do I do that?
I think on that, just go ahead and roll or hit cast on it, so that it's done. I just want to double check what it says to see what you find.
I'm terrible with memory, so wait, I have to hit cast on the thing?
Yeah, so next to find traps, it's got a
Okay.
little cast button. Just hit that for me, so I know that you've used the spell slot.
I did. I think I did. Yes, I did.
Okay, so you do get the sense that these dolls are somehow magically trapped. But the trap is specific on the dolls, and you have to interact with the dolls some way to get them to activate based on what this spell is giving you. You can sense that they are. You don't see any traps on the floor. You don't sense any traps on the forest floor. It's mostly these particular dolls that seem to be the trap.
Ooh,
You found that out?
tempting to grab one.
Sendry found that out?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I also noticed that I have another spell, and I just want to know what it means.
Yeah.
So it says detect evil and good.
Yeah. So detect evil and good lets you detect the presence of good creatures or bad creatures that are like inherently bad creatures that are around you. So in the spell, it says you can choose to see celestials, which are like inherently good angels, fiends, which are like devils, those kinds of things, in your presence, even if they're hidden. So you can kind of get like a, what's the word here? You can kind of get like a understanding of where they might be hiding, or if a particular enemy or character is like maybe hiding in disguise as another type of creature.
Gotcha.
I don't think it just picks up the sense, but let me double check. Yeah, it's specifically of a type of creature. So aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiend, or undead. If any of those are within 30 feet of you, you can sense their presence. So in this, just mechanically speaking, as you're learning, this wouldn't help you figure out if these dolls are inherently evil.
Okay.
Although just kind of looking at
Let
them,
me
you can
make sure I
kind of
heard
get the
you.
sense.
You said it said would or would not.
It would not.
Okay, good.
Would not. But you get the sense just by looking at them and the Arcana check that Flux had and what she shared and your traps that these things are probably not good. You've got enough information to kind of go on that.
Yeah. OPS.
Mm-hmm.
Seducius. I have a remix for you. A song that you like. Maybe you can play for me one day on your guitar. It's called In Your Eyes, and it's by this gentleman called The Weeknd. But there's a new remix that I think that maybe you should listen to. It might help you feel better about Helga, or whatever her name is.
Oh, wow, I don't think I've heard of that. First yet, but yeah, I would love to listen to it.
Yeah, just a reminder for later.
Yeah. Maybe you could play it for me later, just the two of us, in my tent.
Oh, now you have a tent. Well, why did we stay somewhere if you have a tent?
I always have a tent for special occasions.
Why not, you know?
Anyways, dolls.
Yes, no.
Wow. Wow.
So, who's gonna grab
That
the doll?
information I had to say.
So you guys are you trying to investigate the dolls or you want to just leave them alone?
I kind of want to. I don't know. I kind of want to check, see if they have any valuable stuff. Are you guys scared or what?
So
I mean, I'm cool with taking a chance.
This game's all about taking chances and risks, and he's leading us to
Let's
these
go.
creepy dolls.
That's it.
a
Let's
little
do
bit.
it.
We gotta
Let's
go
do
for
it.
it.
Let's do it. Let's just grab them. You guys want to grab them? We'll take them.
So
Yeah, we're really good at just going the wrong way in the quest. So let's do
who's all grabbing a doll?
I'll grab a doll. F it. Let's go.
it. Yeah, I'm gonna grab one.
All right, so as you pick one up, you can tell it does, whoever's got one, it does seem like the doll, around the twig, in the center, it seems like there's cloth there, and the cloth seems to be wrapped around something, like something is inside the doll.
Bang it. I want to check it out.
As
feeling about
you kind of start
Me
to
too, but
take away the folds of the cloth, you start to feel that it kind of like.
Oh no!
And in your hand is this still beating heart. Roll a medicine check for me.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Heart.
That's creepy.
Yeah, you're not 100% sure what type of creature this comes from. Anyone who's got one of these things in their hands.
Oh yeah.
But it's clearly a removed heart, and it's just.
That's really creepy. So like I just grabbed the Hulk, like hulked it out of that thing, or.
Well, like the doll's like in your hand, right? So like you can just hold it.
Okay.
The heart is like palm size, right? It's not like huge or anything.
Got it.
Torin, don't eat it.
I want to just rip out the heart, dude.
I'm freaked out. I throw this whole thing to the ground because I'm like, I can't.
Like drop it or like oh shit? Like what's
like oh shit! I'm tossing it into like the nearby woods. I'm done. I can't.
As you throw it, and it hits like the tree and kind of bounces off, the heart just kind of just like disintegrates. And as that happens, below you start to feel the ground shake, and before you can even react, just goosh, this like huge root, like thorny root, kind of bumps out of the ground and it grapples around your legs and is now holding you in place. You are restrained, and I need you to roll a dexterity saving throw.
Both of us, or just
the person who threw the heart or damaged the heart.
Oh, that was close.
Hit me.
Yeah.
Wait, how do I do that in my thing?
In chat, do exclamation point save space dex.
It really reminds me of my ex-girlfriend now.
Hey, look, you led us to your death at Dragon's Barrow and those wispy things, and I said, no, we need to go. Now, you're over here judging me because of the doll? Chill out. I don't want to hear another word from you, Seducious, unless it's about I'm saving you or I'm killing something. Chill. I don't want to hear it.
All right,
I don't want to hear it. Relax. You got a good night's sleep. Relax. I'm stuck now. Help me.
So you do manage to, like, as this thing starts to grapple around you, you're like, get it off, and you kind of like roll out of the way, and it can't quite extend too far, but it is kind of like and like still trying to grab things within its place. So far, only one tree root is kind of out and about.
Does it still have me?
It doesn't. You managed with that throw to kind of get out of it and avoid damage.
Right, good,
who else had a doll, by the way?
I do.
Me.
Okay, so whoever had a doll, you notice as this first root kind of pops up, yours kind of and like disintegrate as well. I need also dexterity checks from you.
Check it out.
Dexterity save, sorry. So save, exclamation point save, space dex. Okay. Okay, so while Flux is able to kind of dodge and roll out of the way and kind of get away from these things, these giant roots also kind of grab up and grab both of you, and you are just completely entangled in this all the way up to your arms. Your elbows are kind of locked in. It's uncomfortable, and you're starting to feel these huge, just oversized thorns start to pierce into your skin as they're going through. Both of you take 5 points of damage, and you cannot move from these things. Bless you. As you're in this space. And what I think I'll have everyone do now, but we'll leave it out of initiative. So Flux, you are still able to move, and Seducious, you are able to move as well. For Torin and Zendri, you are able to try to attack these roots just mechanically, so you understand. But anytime you try to hit it, it's going to be a disadvantage if you're trying to hit it with your weapon. You can also try and break out of it just like using straight brawn if you'd like to try to. If you'd like to try that, feel free to roll a athletics check.
I shall.
Yeah, I'll do athletics check.
Yeah, go ahead and roll. Zendri, you are still stuck in these things. You can't seem to get out. As you start to make a little bit of a crack in one, another root just kind of holds in you a little tighter. Torn, you are able to just break out of these things as you're out there and kind of loose. Zendri, you take another 5 points of damage.
No.
Sick.
Get me
Can I attack this?
Yeah, go ahead and roll an attack roll with it.
I'm gonna attack it. Can I throw on freaking Hunter's Mark on that mess too? I mean, I think it's already on. Yes. No.
No, you have to call it. You have to call ahead of time.
Hunter's Mark. Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
And I'm attacking with my longsword. So let's go. I'm gonna try to chop this damn thing. It's attack, right?
Yeah.
Attack longsword.
Yeah, so that definitely hits. You go through it as you break through it, and it does kind of fall away enough as it's still trying to like whip and get back a hold of Zendri, but there is enough of an opening for Zendri to break free, and Zendri is loose out of these things now.
You good, girl?
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Couldn't let my girl down. You saved me enough times. That's what this longsword is for, girl. Let's go.
So you guys are kind of like, these things are still out and trying to like grab people. Are you guys going to try to haul ass out of this area or what?
Let's go.
I mean, aren't we going to have to come back this way anyway and deal with them? Should we just kill them now?
Sure. Well, can we like try to sneak past them, or is there's a blocked by them?
No, you can get past them. They can't like move. They're just like in the ground, kind of like trying to hold you guys.
No.
All right.
We just keep going past them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got horses and stuff. Let's go. Wait, Torrin, are you still a horse?
No, I'm myself.
Oh,
Okay.
You're not far away from where Xanth marked it on the map, so you probably could just like haul and get there without too much struggle.
Let's book it.
let's run. Let's go.
Yeah, let's get out of here. I don't think there's anything valuable back there.
Cool. So you guys start running as you're trying to get away from these roots, and you notice that you've kind of found yourself along a bit of a ridge, kind of on your northern side as you're trying to get to this area. As you're kind of going through this space, you suddenly realize that this is probably not the safest way to approach a secret area, and before you can even think the thought, you hear "No!" and I need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh.
All right, let's keep those numbers handy, and we'll go into it. So as you kind of make it out into this ridge, which is on the map now for you, you hear that "No!" and like over the ridge, you see this kind of lithe but vicious-looking half-orc. It's not as big and burly as a normal orc, which is kind of what gives it away that it's a half-orc in these robes, and it's got a staff. And as it shouts now, you hear these guttural screams come from behind it, as you hear like stomping coming from the bushes, and just a whole contingent of orcs starts piling out in this space. Let me get them on the map for you so you can see them.
Thank you so for showing us our impending doom.
Yes. Spell that would usually help.
Discord like works. This computer.
Okay, so the anchor road. So here, the orcs are just kind of scattered throughout. Okay, let's get our initiative up. So first up was Seducius at a 22, nice. And then we had Zendri with an 8. And you took 5 points of damage. And then Flux had a 5. And Torn had a 3.
Big money. Big money, baby.
Torn and I are like dead.
I had like 2 bomb rolls and then terrible after that.
So you can see quite a few of these things now coming out of this space. They are just everywhere. And the first person up is going to be Seducius.
Let's go, bro.
I just want to make sure I'm clear on the spell before I try and use it.
Sure.
Crown of Madness. If I cast that and the orc doesn't do a saving throw, I basically control the orc through this. Like I can tell him to attack one of his friends.
Yeah, you can basically make it go kind of crazy. Let me just double check the DC on that to verify, but let me check for you. I'm pretty certain, yes. Crown of Madness. You can charm me. Yeah, basically it needs, like, you charm it in a specific way that makes it attack something other than itself, even if it's an ally.
Okay. Yeah. I want to try and use this on that orc.
Okay,
on that
so
big one.
DC 14 for the orc wisdom. Okay, he rolled a 6, and with his bonus, that's not enough, so he does fail. And as you, what does it kind of sound like to cast Crown of Madness from Seducius's loot? Let's give us a little bit of a show there, Seducius, huh?
Crazy train.
Crown of Madness. Let me think real quick. Like it would be kind of loud, like a.
That feels right. So you see this like purplish kind of spinning light kind of start to solidify, and it just almost like arrests violently in his head, and you see this crown of thorns just kind of like sink into his face, and his eyes start to kind of widen, and it just like beams ferocity now as he's affected by this spell. Anything else on your turn, Seducius?
That's it.
Okay. That is cool. I'm just going to put a quick effect on him so I don't forget. And that will now bring us to one of the first orcs, kind of the farthest one. And he is, I think, just going to try to charge up as far as he can go. He's going to use his full action to just get into range and stop there.
Oh, snap.
So that will be the next orc who's going to do the same thing and use his full action to just get into range. Yeah, he'll use his full action to dash and get into range. That will bring us to the anchorite, though, the one that is charmed. And since he is charmed, he's just going to attack the closest thing to him, which is this other orc. So he wants to... yeah, this will be fun. Yeah, he's going to, like, change into his boar form. And so you see him kind of like... and like these big tusks kind of shoot out of his mouth now, and he's just like super crazed with this, and he charges at the nearest orc, and he's gonna try to just gore him as fast as he can, and he does hit. So he does he does 6 points of damage to the orc 04, which like has this big tusk now going through his middle, and he's starting to bleed a little bit from this portion. That'll end the...
That's so metal,
turn.
dude.
So metal. That'll bring us to another orc who's far up and not understanding what's happening. This is kind of a tenuous alliance. Let's see. Oh, no, he understands. Okay, so we can kind of tell that this is a magical spell, so he's just going to use his action as well to just get up and personal with you guys. That will bring us, though, to Zendri. It is now your turn.
Am I close enough to them to use inflict wounds?
Yeah, you could walk up to either of these two and use it. You can probably...
Question for you. when do you suggest changing levels? Do you suggest using a third level when you can't defeat someone, or is third level just good to go like right off the bat?
It really kind of depends. Like if the enemy is tougher, you usually want to use higher level spell slots. If you need to make sure something has as much efficiency as possible, you want to use higher level spell slots. Looking at these orcs, you know, you faced these things before. They don't seem that tough, so I probably wouldn't suggest going ham just yet. Maybe on the anchorite, who's a little bit tougher. But the other thing to consider is like, have I even gotten further? When can I recover this resource? I would say if it was me, probably wouldn't use it yet on that. Maybe on the anchorite, but not on the orcs.
Like the third level, you mean?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't need to pump that much into one of them.
For sure. I do want to use it. We'll just go with first level for now.
And do you want to use it on one of these two down here, or do you want to try to make it up this ridge and attack the one that's already been attacked?
That one, yes.
The top one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So go ahead and cast Inflict Wounds. You should be able to do that in chat now. They just did an update where it's including all of the extra content. So do ! Cast Inflict Wounds. Nice. Let's see if that hits our orc friend. That actually misses our orc, and it is able to kind of get out of the way of you trying to grab a hold of it with your spell. Anything else on your turn?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Well. Yes.
Is anyone? No one's been like hit except for me. Right?
Yeah, you're the only person so far who's taken damage from those roots from earlier.
I did. I took 5.
Oh, that's right, you did. Let me.
But
You're at like 20.
yeah, I'm at 28. I'm good.
That will end Zendri's turn and bring us to another orc who does have enough movement, I believe, to get there and attack. So that's what he's going to do. He sees Flux kind of in range, so he runs up to Flux and will try and just take his great axe and just take a big old swing at you. So he's going to try to roll to hit you, which does hit you. You take 9 points of damage from this axe.
Wow.
Just into you.
What the?
Wow.
What the?
Oh, he doesn't know what's coming to him. All right. Listen.
Oh man, we got Lou Sassel.
Is Lou back? Yes, Lou. For everyone in the chat, by the way, just a heads up, we're like a smidgen away from getting affiliated, so let's see if we can do it tonight. Bring your friends. Let's hit that follow button. We're so close. I love all of you.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so 9 points of damage from that great axe as he swings into you. That'll end its turn, which is going to bring us to the one that was recently gored by his partner. Feeling very betrayed, he does attack back at the anchorite in boar form. Thanks for that host, man. Appreciate it. So he swings at his buddy also with his great axe and hits. And hits, doing 9 points of damage to him as well in his boar form.
Yo, I like this spell. Cool.
It's a good one, bro. It's a good one. All right, that'll end his turn. Flux, that brings us to you.
All right. I'm going to throw out Divine Favor. I'm going to cast that. And then I'm going to attack the homeboy that swung his great axe at me.
Okay.
I'm going to attack him with my longsword.
All right, go ahead and roll to hit on it.
All right, hold on.
No
Yeah,
stress.
no one swings their great axe at you except for me.
And I only swing my longsword at those who deserve it. So. It's a sorry. One more time. It's a check for what now? Attack, right?
It's attack and then longsword.
Okay, I get it. I know. It's been a long day, you guys. It's been a really long day.
And I just want everyone to know this is going to sound very alarming with the music, but I'm doing this for Lou Sassy for hosting me. you cast Crown of Madness first and then Healing Word?
Right.
Okay, perfect.
Right.
So you've got one of those left, and then all of your other spell slots left.
Okay.
Anything else on your turn, Caduceus? Do you want to move at all, or you want to kind of park there?
Let me. Yeah, I'm just gonna move like one square like up, so I can maybe get a better vantage point for the spells later on.
All right.
Yep.
That'll bring us back to some of these orcs. O2 being closest to Torin is going to try and take a swipe at Torin.
But Jacob started cracking up, and he was like, "There you go, yeah."
Nailed it. So that'll end that orc's turn, and that'll bring us back to the Anchorite, who's still in boar form. And he's going to just keep going in on his friend with his tusks there. He will hit again, and he does another... what was it? Another 6 points of damage to this dude, as he's bringing him in. Almost dropped him. So kind of bleeding out. So that'll now bring us to another one of the orcs, who is closest to Flux, and he's going to try and take a hit at Flux as well. That will miss. And then, I went the wrong direction. Zendri, that brings us to your turn.
I'm going to hit, I can't see because it's so small, the one that's closest to me.
That's
I'm assuming is the one that attacked me last time.
Yes. Yeah, and this one's almost dead because the boar has been just goring him.
Yeah, I'm going to hit him with my mace.
Okay. Also, before you hit, roll an insight check for me. Cool. You can kind of gauge based on the spell that Caduceus put on that Anchorite that's been attacking his friends. That it's not picking his allies purposely. He's just picking anything closest to it. So if you attack, you get the sense like right after you attack, you should try to get far away from this dude, or he'll probably go after you next. But now you can go ahead and roll your attack if you'd like. If you're hitting him with your mace, go ahead and do attack mace. Nice, that does hit. You do 8 points of damage, and you just crush this dude's skull, just poof, and it just guts everywhere. Anything else you want to?
Run away.
That's up to you. Anything else you want to do on your turn?
Yeah, I'm gonna run away.
Okay, where do you want to go?
The opposite direction of it.
Okay, you can go in a few different places.
Pull me next to who is.
Your max speed is 30, so you can get as far as here-ish or here-ish.
Put me on the right side.
Like over here?
No, on the other side. Yeah, over there.
Yes?
No.
I went the wrong direction. Okay, there we go. So, Give me a thumbs up if that's correct. Yes? Yes.
Yeah,
all right,
you're
awesome.
like just delayed probably.
Yeah, it was just like a second off. All right, so that'll end Zendri's turn. Bring us to another orc who is just going to keep going ham on Flux here. Natural 20.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Let's roll, see how good we did here. Or bad, you never know.
What it's like in the streets, dude. Watch out.
Listen, I'm used to it.
Shoot.
Shoot.
You take
You know where I'm from? I say shit.
You take 18 points of damage as this dude just
Yeah.
cleaves through you.
Gosh, dude, that's gonna kill you, isn't it?
Yeah, that's tight. No, I was at 30, so I'll be alright.
What are you at now, just so I know?
These things are strong.
Shit. I'm at 30, so take away the 18, and I'm at
12.
12.
All right, that will end that orc's turn. Flux, that does bring it back to you, though.
Does it?
It does.
Sick.
Why
Do I
was it
still have it?
bloody? I thought I healed her.
You healed Zendri.
No.
You're getting this all mixed up now?
I mean, I knew that.
I have red skin. She cat. I'm flame. She's cat.
Listen, in the dark, you all look the same. Anyway.
No, so you fool.
Apparently, you feel the same too. So.
Whoa. Okay. All right. So moving on. While I'm still alive, I'm gonna do the same thing I did last time. I'm gonna throw out that divine. Wait, is divine still on? I feel like it is.
Did you hit with it last time? No, you missed. So yeah, it's still on.
Divine's still on. I'm gonna take that long sword out and bust a move.
All right, you're going for 06, the one below you or the one above you?
Both. I don't know. I'm just gonna do a full 360 with my.
Well, you can only hit one, so.
No, I know. I'm just joking. I'll do. Wait, who is the guy who hit me with the axe? Because I'm out
the
for
one
revenge.
below you.
Yo, so let's go 06. Let's see what happens.
Okay, roll your attack.
I know. Wish me luck.
Yo, I'm gonna give you focus.
Guidance.
Guidance. That's
Okay, yeah. So add roll a 1d4.
Make sure you get this.
Okay, with that 4, it is enough to hit. So you do manage to hit it. You do 8 points of damage from this sword. I would also like you to go ahead and add your divine smite damage as well.
Divine favor is 1d4.
Okay.
So I'll roll that.
Nice. So 10 points of damage to this dude. It's a pretty significant hit. He's not dead yet, but he's feeling pretty down. Not happy.
Nice.
All right. Flux, anything else on your turn?
Nah, I'm alright.
Can I use guidance like every time someone attacks? I think that's kind of.
I have to double check. I think you have to actually be able to touch them. So
Okay.
I'll say you were here instead. We'll make
I have
it
a
easy.
question, Nate.
Yes, please.
Oh yeah, I guess I do have to touch them. Okay.
Can I, while it's still my turn, I can't cast a spell on myself. I have to wait, right?
While it's your turn, yeah, you can't do it unless it's your turn.
Okay, yeah.
What are you trying to cast, though?
I have Cure Wounds, and I wanted to do that on myself. Can I do that?
You could have if you didn't attack.
Got it. Sick. Next time. Guys, kill all these guys so that I can cure myself next time.
Torin, that does make it your turn.
Thanks.
Oh, and one other thing, Torin, that point of mechanical thing. You can technically cast guidance every time that you want, but guidance counts as something that you need to do on your turn as well. So just know if you want to guide someone as your spell, you have to do that on your turn ahead of time. And if it's an action, that counts as the spell you cast that action.
Oh, so like I technically shouldn't be able to do anything right
I'll give it to you on that one. I'll say you just did it on an earlier one. But just,
Okay.
we're learning together. Don't worry.
Right, so I would say guidance to whoever attacks in the future, and then that'd be the end of my turn.
Yeah, correct. I have to look at I'm looking at the spell real quick. If it takes an action, then yes, it would be your turn. So guidance, yeah, I see how guidance has one action. That's the casting time. So technically, that would be your move. Before I knock over my mic here.
Dumb thing to do, I guess.
It just kind of depends.
Yeah, it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good though. I thought it was like randomly when I could just throw it on. Okay.
Right.
I am going to do wild shape and turn into a dire wolf.
Okay. Rod. So that was your bonus action. You can still attack as a wolf if you'd like.
Yeah, let's do it. The dire wolf is. I can use bite. I'm gonna do the one that I already damaged a lot.
Okay, that's 02, I believe. Oh no, that's 03. 03. Yep. Cool. So go ahead and roll to hit with bite. So you'll have to do that manually. So if you just
Is that a D20 plus 5?
Yep. Cool, that does hit, so now you can roll the damage, or you can take the average if you don't want to roll again.
I'll take the average.
What is it?
10.
Cool. Yeah, so you just bite through this thing. You've got him by the jugular, and he just, like, gurgles to death as you're holding him by his throat. One orc down, friends. Actually, two, but you've killed one. That will end your turn, I assume, there, Torin, which will bring us to...
Yeah.
One of the other orcs still kind of up in the top, and he's just going to keep throwing his other javelins that he has. He's going to aim this one at Seducius. Seducius, he does hit you. And that will do 6 points of damage to you. I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw as well to see if you can keep hold of Crown of Madness.
How do I do that?
Do in the chat, do exclamation point save space con. Cool. Yeah, you're able to keep it maintained even with some of that damage that's swung through you. But that'll end its turn, and that will bring it back to the top of the round. Seducius, it is now your turn.
That guy's gonna get Crown of Madness after this. Tell you what.
Tell you what.
Tell you what.
Tell you what.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little confused on how the bardic inspiration works. I was trying to understand and read this.
So basically, with bardic inspiration, it's kind of like that spell that Trent just used, called Guidance, where it gives someone like a 1d4 to basically add to any check that they rolled. You basically, instead of a 1d4 though, you like inspire a teammate and they get a 1d6 that they can then add to pretty much any roll they want. It doesn't count towards damage, but like it can count towards a hit or an ability check. And basically whatever they roll, they can roll that inspiration dice and add whatever that 1d6 gave them to their roll. So like, let's say you gave it to Zendri and Zendri like rolled a 12 and she was like, damn it, I really need a hit on this dude. She can add that, she can roll another 1d6 and whatever she gets on that, she can add it to her roll and see if it's enough to get past the difficulty check.
Should like Flux use it for like her healing things on herself?
It wouldn't add to the number. I have to double check. I'm pretty sure though it doesn't. It just adds to ability checks.
Yeah, you're right. That's what it says. Ability check, attack roll, or saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll try that. Zendri's the next one, like up after me, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Then, yeah, I'll try that. Like, since I'm still holding on to my Crown of Madness on the one thing, I'll do the bardic inspiration over to Zendri for her next turn, which on mine it says it's 1d8. Is that right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna whisper to Zendri, since she can hear me. I'm gonna say, "Be like Seducius. Be like Seducius."
All right.
Fired.
So Zendri, normally when we're sitting at a table, I would give you like a 1d8 to have. So just in your brain, remember you have an extra 1d8 you can add to any attack roll or ability check for the next like hour. So you've got it.
So it doesn't simultaneously have to be after he just did it. I could use it whenever.
Correct. You get to choose when you want to expend that die.
Okay.
All right. So Seducius, that'll end your turn. Also, Seducius, just a thing. You might want to check out Mantle of Inspiration as we're going through this. So that will bring us to one of the other orcs that was attacking Torin earlier. Seeing his colleague go down by you as a wolf, he's going to go after you as well. And he will hit you. So you take 9 points of damage from this great axe as it just cleaves through your direwolf. How many hit points does your direwolf have?
37.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, it's still up and strong. Easy peasy. That'll end its turn. That'll bring us to the anchorite again, and he's just going to go for the person he sees closest to it, which in this case is that orc in the corner. And he's going to try, still as a boar, he's going to try to gore it. He does gore it, and that orc takes 6 points of damage.
Yeah.
All
You're
right.
throwing, sucker.
That brings us to one of the other orcs. This one, seeing Flux really on its last leg, is just going to keep going after it. Keeps going after that paladin. He does hit you, and you take another 9 points of damage.
Wow. So I'm down to 3. So sick tight.
Wait, how did you get down to 3? Where have I been?
That rope thingy got me took 9, and then homeboy gave me like 12 last time, and then this other homeboy gave me 9, so now I'm down to 3. I know. I'm so excited about this. Oh my god. I got cure wounds though. I don't know if I should use my turn to do that because I might die, but I don't think anyone's gonna attack me, but that's all right.
You need to move and go heal yourself.
Yeah. Is there a way that I can? You know what? Good idea. I'm gonna disengage.
Okay.
Apparently my MO when it shits the fan.
Just so you know, disengage for you counts as an action, so you won't be able to cure wounds. But it does get you away from combat, which isn't a bad thing. I'm just putting that out there.
All right.
So is she actively getting attacked right now?
She is. She got surrounded right away.
So I need you to just run.
I did. I disengaged. I'm in the forest.
You want to just go as far south as you can go?
Please.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right. You are disengaged.
Providing there's no other orcs on that side.
Well, about that.
Don't you dare, Nathaniel. Nathan,
I assume that ends your turn, though?
Yes.
Okay. That will bring us to the other orc. Seeing that you've left, he's just going to go ham on the thing closest to it as well. So he tries to hit the direwolf. He misses the direwolf. Actually, I'm so sorry. I went in the wrong direction, so I'm glad that he missed. Torin, that is your turn.
Alright, I am gonna do the same attack because I'm still a direwolf, it looks like.
Actually, did I skip Zendri?
Did you?
Oh yeah, you did.
I did. Okay, that was wrong. I read Zendri as Flux. So, Flux, I'll let you still run that down. But Zendri, it's your turn.
Just because we're both women. Come on. Do better. Do better, both of you.
I'm sorry. You're right. You're not wrong. I want to be an ally. That's all I'm saying.
Shut up. Then do it. Don't talk about it. Be about it, Nate. Come on.
You're at 3 health points and stop bothering your DM. Listen. That's what you. A little bit of sass for all that freaking freebird, okay? Roll a perception check.
Okay. Shut up. Shut up. Clock out. Go home.
Zendri, it's your turn.
I'm gonna help my sister out. I would like to use my 2nd level of Cure Wounds.
All right.
For my boo.
So Cure Wounds is touch. So you don't need to disengage, but you do need to head south to get to her.
Yep.
Okay. And I'll say you just get there, so you're a little closer if you want to come back into combat. So go ahead and cast Cure Wounds and see how much health we give her back.
Whoa. There we go.
Cool. So you get 7 points. Did you want to do second level, or did you want to do first level?
Yes. Second level.
So do this again for me. Do exclamation point cast space in quotes Cure Wounds and then space -L2. Should be that. If not, I might be crazy.
After the parentheses space.
After the quotes.
Yeah. After the. Oh shit! I did that wrong.
It won't.
Hello.
Yeah, I think the thing I have to figure out is if it's. I think it's
You
dash
said
L.
dash what?
Dash L space and then the spell level, so 2. Dash L space 2. No. Why is it mad at me? Every time I do this. Oh, you forgot a space between the dash and the quote. It's okay, I can roll it for you. There it goes. But yeah, we forgot to clear that out. Oh, let me roll it for you. I gotta remember to clear out these things every time I do them. So Cure Wounds cast. You wanted level 2?
2.
3d8 plus 2. You get 17 points of health back.
Bless up, dude. Bless up.
That's
Let's go.
That's what clerics do. What clerics do.
That's that special kind of girl on girl love going on over there.
Your favorite.
Oh,
Yeah,
Lord.
that love that you can't be a part of.
Apparently, that's your MO, from what I hear.
All right. So next up.
That gives me an even 20, baby. Let's go.
Next up is going to be, unless Zendra, you want to do anything else on your turn. You've moved and you've done an action. Do you have any bonus actions you want to do?
No, well, so do I even have any bonus actions?
You do, but they're healing words, so they're spells. You can't cast 2 spells on your same turn.
Yeah, so I'm good.
Okay. So that'll now bring us to Flux, who moved, and then Torn.
Alright, I'm gonna move like on the south side of that orc that's right next to me on the bottom. Just like in front of Flux or whoever that is. Just some like
You want to be like here?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go there. And then I'm gonna well, am I within 5 feet of actually can I go on the side of number 5 on the left side? I don't know if we're allowed to
Yeah, you can retcon that.
One of the things it says is pack tactics. The wolf has an advantage on an attack roll against a creature if it's at least one of the wolf's allies.
Yep.
Is within 5. So now I'm close to someone, so I'll get advantage.
Yeah. And then just for yeah, absolutely. So just so you see too. Oop, that wasn't cool. That's this died. Your the orc that was below you is almost dead, and the one closest to Seducius is still at full health. Just so you know.
Okay.
I'm gonna get that back up for you
Actually, I
guys.
can't see them. Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna get it back up. Yeah, the stream dropped. Let me get it back for you real quick. Share screen. Go live. There it is.
Who's after me?
After you is pretty much the end of the round. It's one more orc and then back to Seducius.
Okay. So number 5 is full health?
Yes.
Okay.
06 is
I'm
almost
gonna
dead.
I'm just gonna go for number 5 then. I'm just
Okay.
gonna-
So go ahead
He's
and
not mostly-
roll your 1d20 plus 5 to see if you bite him. I'm sorry, Renee. It's been all combat. There's been no fight. There's been not a lot of voices yet. You missed some of the beginning.
Oh, sick roll. So glad I did that.
Yeah, you missed. Well, you have advantage. Don't forget.
Oh, so I get to do it again?
Yep.
Well, wait, did I read that right? It said it, oh yeah, that's just normal advantage, okay. Alright, I thought it was like +5 or something.
Renee, what's your favorite voice? Put it in chat. Maybe I'll just do it for you anyway.
Come on, Crabus's. Come on, Crabus.
So yeah, that one does hit Trent, so you can go ahead and roll your damage now.
Wait, what do I do for damage again?
Whatever. You can either take the average or you can roll if you prefer.
Right. I'll take the average. I'll take 10.
Awesome. So on 05.
Let's kill this one.
That was kind of his first taste of blood here, so he is still standing, but pretty badly hurt. That'll bring us
to... We just need to finish these homies off. Squad up. Let's go.
That other orc at the top being attacked by one of his colleagues. He does turn and try to swing his great axe at the door and misses. So, Seducius, that brings us back to your turn.
A dummy miss?
They're all weak, dude. Just go ham, dude. Lightning or something.
I'm still getting them using that other orc to kill his friends. That's what I'm doing.
That's a pretty good move.
It is. It's a good move. Okay, so still concentrating on the Crown of Madness.
Okay.
And we'll try the Mantle of Inspiration now that I've read it. So basically, I can pick up the 3 creatures, or 3 of my teammates, and give them temporary 8 hit points.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Okay. So this is perfect. Yeah. So I'm gonna switch and also do that.
Okay.
Play a little song for him. And that'll give them 8 points of inspiration.
Yeah, so they get 8 temporary hit points. So who are you picking? Who are the 3?
Well, I would just pick the 3 people on my team, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. There's only 3 of you.
Yeah, there's only 3. Yeah.
So yeah, all 3 of you get 8 temporary hit points that you can add to your life pool. For everyone as well, you can choose right now if you'd like to move 30 feet in any direction without taking an opportunity attack. So that's also part of that Mantle of Inspiration that Seducius' spell did. So it gave you 8 temporary hit points to add to your health point pool. Whenever you take damage, you go out of your temporary hit point pool first. And then, and on top of that, you can also just like run and move in any direction without taking an opportunity attack. So if you want to move from where you are, you can do so now. Just let me know. If you want to stay where you are, that's okay as well.
Hour of rock and roll.
Trash music.
Trash.
I'm trash. Wait, is Jacob on the stream? Is Jacob in the chat?
I don't know. Jakey, where you at, man? Vinny, let's go.
Because I mean, I feel like he'd get a kick out of that. Because we tried to FaceTime Craig and show him.
Which is now?
No, this was like a couple months ago before we closed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let me see if I can do a shout out for Renee and try to get Vinny in chat as well real quick. Renee, if you could for us, dear, we'd really appreciate if you could maybe bring someone on. If you could just find your friend Jacob, we'd really appreciate everything for that. It'd mean a lot to all of us here if you could. That'd be really well. Thank you.
My boyfriend. My other boyfriend.
How many boyfriends do you have in this game? This is quite entertaining.
About 3.
Oh, wait. You question me, but you don't question Seducius?
No, it's kind of implied that Seducius is kind of a promiscuous lad.
Oh. I see. Okay.
He's streaming Crucible. I know, that new hotness. Everyone's on it right now.
What is it called?
Crucible. It's a good game. It looks cool. So it is, I think that's the end of Seducius' turn. That brings us to another one of these orcs, who is going to... Yeah, I think I think he's gonna run up and try and take a crack at Seducius. Try to break it, because this is the one that kind of was on to you from earlier. He does miss. So he tries to... 02.
Okay.
Yeah, that one saw that you cast that spell. So he does hit and miss. So that brings us back to the anchorite, who's just going to keep trying to kill his friend, because why not? And he does hit, doing another 6 points of damage. And the orc up there is almost dead, alive, but bleeding out as these two orb like boar tusks just keep going to town on this thing.
Yeah, kill your friend.
Then one other orc that gives us to 05, who's going to just go back at Torin. He does hit Torin. You take another 9 points of damage. How's your wolf doing, Solab?
Yeah. Well, what about the 8?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can apply that
I
there.
just take 1, basically?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm at 23 still.
Zandri, that brings us back to your turn.
Oh boy. Alright, so I'm down more. I can't really see myself, but I think I'm down further, right?
Yeah.
How about... So the one that's closest to me,
Mm-hmm.
does he have any damage? He does.
He does, yeah.
I'm gonna try and hit him with my crossbow.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and attack with your crossbow.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
No. That part makes me cry all the time.
It's sad. So well delivered.
All of the time.
So you do miss with that crossbow.
No.
You do. It's true. It's a thing. The orc 06, seeing you attack, charges you. Actually, no. He's just gonna stay up there. He's gonna throw a javelin at you. He does hit with his javelin. You take 6 points of damage from this dude as he spears you with this thing.
So good.
So good. So remember, you actually only take 2 points of damage because of your temporary health points. So.
You're welcome.
Well, wait. I'm confused. So I put 8 in my temp HP.
Uh-huh.
So wouldn't I just take away 6 from there?
Oh yeah, I can't do math. I'm not smart, and I'm bad at my job. So you still have 2 temporary health points.
I'm glad you.
It's true.
Come to that realization.
I didn't come to it. I've been at it for a while. I still don't know how I got hired. So that'll end its turn. Flux, that brings us to you.
So I'm back up at 20.
Right.
So I feel a little better. So, wait, Zendri, where are you at? Are you good? Like, do you need help? Do you need some saving too?
No, I'm great, love.
All right, good, because I have cure wounds, so maybe I can help. But if you're good, then I am going to try to take out Mr. 06 over here.
Okay. How are you going to try and do that? You want to run up and hit him?
I'm gonna run up and try to stab the crap out of this fool.
All right, go ahead and attack with your longsword, friend.
Let's do it.
Do it. Do it now.
Ramen cold, do it.
Do it. 9 hits, yeah. And who were you going for again? 06?
06, bro.
Yeah, you just
pull out here.
go as you charge with this dude and chop off his head like in one motion. You keep kind of running past him. 06 is dead. Murdered
Braveheart
orc.
style. Braveheart style. Let's go.
Yeah, just like freedom. Murdering them. Torin, that brings us back to your turn.
Alright, I'm going to advantage attack number 5.
All right, go for it, sir.
Let's make it happen.
Remember, you got to do it manually. So instead of attacked, you roll.
Oh, dang it.
Roll. Yeah. Solid. Yeah, so that hits. Now you can go ahead and roll your damage or take it. I think was 6, you said?
10, yeah. 10.
Is it 10?
I think so.
Okay.
Hit is 10.
Oh no, is it...
Wait, what do you ask me?
I thought the damage was 6. Was it that way we were playing before? Am I crazy? Maybe I'm crazy. What did we do the first time?
No, we were doing 10.
Okay, so 10 on him. He dies either way. So 05 also bit through the jugular, just blood everywhere. So he is gone as well. Only a couple orcs still standing. That brings us to the last one. Seeing all of his buddies killed and his anchorite kind of attacking him, he just tries to run. He is actually going to flee, and he does get off the map. So he's gone.
He runs away.
He runs away.
And
I'm just gonna say he's gone. Well, he's gone. We'll just say he's gone. So that brings us now to Seducius again.
okay, so seeing that the other orc ran away and my madness crowned friend up there is alone, I think I'm gonna break the spell at this point, which is all the way up there, and focus on what's in front of me.
Okay.
And I will do. I'm just gonna do dissonant whispers to him right in front of me.
Cool. What's the DC on that again? It doesn't matter. He rolled a 1. All right. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Should be in there.
Oh, is it? Am I not scrolled? Oh, okay, perfect. So 11 points of damage to the one in front of you.
02. Yep.
02. He also just crumples and dies as he kind of hears this really horrendously melodious tune. So for the most part, there are no more orcs on the field. Just the anchorite. There are no more orcs on the field. Just the half-orc anchorite of Talos, all the way up at the north. Technically still matted until his turn comes around.
It's a MFer.
So it is now his turn. Seeing that he is alone, he's gonna go out of his boar form, and he is going to. Oh, interesting. Yeah, okay. He's gonna cast Revivify, and he's gonna bring up.
Is that a word? Is that a real word?
Yes, it is. He's gonna bring back to life 04.
Oh my.
Oh no!
No, not on my watch.
What the fuck?
Not today, Satan.
I just want
He
to
is
check.
Satan.
He is. It's true. I just want to see what does he bring him up to.
Revivify.
One hit.
I'm gonna look that up.
Nate's just making up spell names.
Wouldn't it be the first time, friends? So he does come up and he just charges as fast as he can at Seducius and goes to hit with his great axe. So let's see.
I just.
No.
He rolled a 2, so he does miss anyway. He looks pretty bloodied and not super solid, but he is alive. And it is now Zendri's turn.
Take him out, Zen. Take him out.
Blast him.
You're still kind of southwards as well, just so you know.
Dang it. Brain words hype. Would Sacred Flame be beneficial at all?
Could be. It's a ranged spell. You could try to hit something with it.
Yeah, let's try and hit him.
Okay.
Can I add that extra 1d8 to it?
Does in the column for Sacred Flame, does it say DC and then a number, or does it just say plus something?
It says 13. It says Dex 13.
Yeah, so no, because that's not a you thing. You're not rolling, I'm rolling. So I have to beat 13, so. Which he does not. He rolled a 1. So who were you aiming for?
Oh.
Wow.
That wasn't me. I don't know who that was.
Yeah.
I want to say the one that's closest to me.
Okay, so yeah, that definitely hits him. How much damage does it do?
I don't know. How much damage does it do?
If you look next to
2d8. No.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Cool. So you can go ahead and roll damage.
Is it just exclamation point damage?
Mm-hmm.
And then 2d8?
It's exclamation point. Actually, you can do exclamation point attack or exclamation point cast space Sacred Flame. That would do it too.
Okay.
Nice. So you do 7 points of damage to this thing, and this newly revived orc once again just crumples to death.
Yeah.
Nah.
Correct.
So that will, I think, bring us back to Flux.
So is it just 04 that we're messing with right now? And then 01?
So it's really, that's all the orcs now. So it's now just A1 all the way up at the top of the screen.
Alright.
Yep.
We need to get him, because I don't feel safe going anywhere without this fool. Like, with this fool just still alive. So I'm pissed, because he tried to kill me and all my friends, and he was just doing all these shenanigans. So I'm charging after this fool with my longsword. I don't even care.
If you can make
Does that move get me close to him in my turn?
Which move?
Running?
Yeah, you could dash and get all the way to him, but you won't be able to attack on the same go.
Nah, dude, okay. Alright, just move me.
Okay, you are up there.
Sick. I'm ready to go, guys. Come follow me.
Torin, that gives us to your turn.
Alright, I am going to... I can move 50 feet. I don't know if that'll make it to that guy.
50 feet? I think actually you can. Yeah, I think so.
He can do that.
Yeah, you can get up there.
I'll get up there and then do my attack with tactics.
Yep, you get advantage, so go ahead and roll a 1d20 plus 5 at advantage. So, exclamation point roll, space, 1d20 plus 5, space, ADV. So weird.
15?
That does hit. So you can go ahead and take, is it 10 damage again?
Yeah, I'll do 10. I'll just...
It's
like 10 pretty solid.
Yeah, so this dude takes a nice big bite from your wolf, which ends your turn and brings us back to Seducius.
Yeah, boy!
Yeah, boy!
Okay, well... yeah, let me... Do I have enough to, like, basically move up there and do an attack?
Let's see. Range is
If
30.
not, I just want to move up there. Just, like,
You've got enough to go up there and attack, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna move there. Tough part is there's friends around, so I'm gonna try the Dissonant Whispers again, just because I'm so close and I can target it at that dude.
What was the DC? He does. He's probably gonna succeed. He rolled a natural 15 with his bonus. I think it's like 17.
I'm looking where it says attack save, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says 14.
Yeah, so he does save. Does he take half damage at all?
It does not say that anywhere.
Let me check. Probably not, but let me just double check then. Dissonant Whispers. You did level 1 or level 2?
1.
No, so he still takes half damage.
Well, where did it say that?
In the spell description, it says on a successful save, the target takes half as much damage and doesn't have to move away.
Oh, there you go. I can read. I can't read into math. I'm probably skills here. Alright, so I'm going to roll a 3d6 still? Or yeah.
Yep, go ahead and roll a 3d6 and we'll just reduce it by half.
Yeah. And odd number 2. Great.
It's okay, we round up, so he takes 6 points of damage. So you guys are whittling him down, but he's still standing pretty strong. You remember this is the same boar-type creature shapeshifter you saw in the woods. You know these guys are pretty tough. Which brings us back to the anchorite, who is going to just kind of defend this area to the death for some reason. And he opts to... Hey, you guys are all clustered, so that's your own fault, isn't it? He's going to cast Thunder Wave.
Oh, mother.
Are you for real?
Yeah, so a 15-foot cube around him.
That's my spell.
I need everyone to roll a what was it? Con save? Yeah, I need everyone to roll a Constitution saving throw.
What'd you say again?
A Constitution saving throw. So exclamation point save space con.
Let's go, 19! Let's go.
Let's go!
You guys still have
Let's
that,
go.
right? You guys still have that inspiration where you could use it to do another roll, right?
Yes, all of you do make it though, so you all successfully do it. But you will still take half damage, which means you are taking everyone in the space closest. So all 3 of the people closest to the anchorite take 5 points of damage as he just boom, and like sends out this rippling wave.
Am I close?
No, Zendri, you are the only one not in range.
Yeah, where'd you go?
She stayed south. She never
I'm
ran
all
up.
the way down south.
She was like, "Fuck y'all, I'm the healer." This is not my problem. I'm a cat, bitches.
Instead of everything is awesome, she's like, "This is not my problem."
That will end the anchorite's turn. And Zendri, speaking of which, it is your turn now, and you are still pretty far south.
Hello, it is me.
Oh,
okay,
hello,
so,
my little cat friend.
shit. So I'm pretty far away.
You are. If you wanted to dash, you could get to it, but you wouldn't be able to attack. You could also just get into range of one of your spells, like Sacred Flame or something, and just attack it from afar, or your crossbow. You've got choices.
Yeah, I do want to move up to around that range and try and hit him with my crossbow.
All right, go ahead and attack with your crossbow, my friend.
Let's do it. I don't know where these random bouts of stupid songs are coming from, but crossbow. Let's do this.
That does hit, but yeah, you only do 1 point of damage. You're not really much of a combatant with weapons. It's not your forte, but because you get no bonuses to it. But still, 1 point of damage.
I can knock some lights out.
You have.
Okay.
I've seen you do it. It's been a thing. But that will end Zendri's turn and bring us back to Flux.
All right. I'm now going to take another swing at homeboy over here.
Okay, go
with
ahead and
my
roll.
longsword.
All right, that does hit. You do 4 points of damage to this dude, who is slowly starting to kind of bleed out. You're finally starting to see him a little bit more bloodied. Anything else on your turn? Cool.
Nope.
All righty, Torin, that brings us to you, sir.
Alright, let's do another attack here. Can I go to the other side of him though? I don't know if that'll actually help if he does that attack again.
No. I mean, you'd have to be outside of range.
Oh, well, I'll go there anyway.
Okay.
And we'll attack.
So roll 1d20 plus 5. That does hit. Right. So okay, another 10 points of damage as you keep just gnawing at this dude's leg. He is really starting to kind of limp. He's having a hard time even shaking his leg off from your clutches. Seducius, that brings us back to you, sir.
This music sounds like it's from Pirates of the Caribbean.
It does, actually.
It's from Skyrim, one of the best games of all time.
So I'm gonna continue with Dissonant Whispers because pretty much everything else I have in my repertoire has a pretty big radius right now. It's so close.
Do you still have spell slots left?
I do.
Okay.
I do have my first level spell slots and second level. It's just I feel like everything has that wide radius than everyone else around me.
Yeah, you're all good. I just want to know. I mean, you have your weapon too. I think you have like a rapier or something on you.
Yeah, I feel like that sword is not as good as my spells.
No worries. I mean, you're not wrong. You know.
Yeah.
Play it the way you want to play it.
Yeah, I'd rather just continue Dissonant Whispers right now because we're surrounding him.
So let's see. He's got to beat 14 again.
Yeah.
He does not. So go ahead and give me the damage on there. So 12 points. Nice.
Yep.
This dude for the first time kind of drops to a knee. He's not dead yet, but he's getting pretty close. And that will bring us back to the anchorite. What does he want to do? Yeah, man, he's just mad at the world. So he's going to...
Join the club, buddy.
He can't really move because it boxed him in. So he's just going to do Thunderwave again. If everyone wants to roll a con save.
Oh my god.
Okay. Flux, you do take some damage here. Well, everyone's gonna actually take damage, but let's just see how much. It's gonna burp, Thunderwave.
Thunderclap.
Thunderclap.
Show what he clap shoot.
So Flux, you're gonna take 7 points of damage. Everyone else is going to take 4 points of damage.
Oh, that's just fantastic. Back down to 8, baby. Let's go.
Flux is getting beaten up this one.
Listen, I got my longsword. I got my dragon god on my side. Chill.
Chill, right? Sure.
Chill.
So, Zendri, that brings you back to your turn.
Do I have like a healing spell that I can heal people in the area?
I don't know if you have an area one, but let's look.
Go out to the back or something, or tie her up.
Right now, it doesn't look like you do. Yeah, I don't see anything that does like a mass cure wounds or mass healing word. Looks like they're all. Let me just check your character, like class specialties, just to make sure. Features and traits, class features. Yeah, you don't have anything to do more than one.
Not even aid?
Aid, I don't think... Oh, I guess that's true. Aid does do temporary hit points, so that's a good point. So Aid
Well,
would...
I guess it says choose up to 3 creatures, which...
Yeah, that would include your party.
Hey, I want to do that.
All right, so how many hit points is it for everyone?
Wait, what? What'd you say?
How many hit points does it give everyone?
It doesn't say. There's just a dash.
Oh, it's in the spell. So everyone gets actually your hit point maximum goes up by 5, and you get 5 points. It's how long is the max? So it's 8 hours. Technically, if you want to just add, so like in your health pool, don't like heal yourself first. First thing, add 5 like actual HP. You're gonna get 5 points. Or if you want to just do the math in your head, if that's easier for you too. Technically, so like if you targeted like Seducius's maximum health points is 38. With Aid, it actually goes up to 43. So just something to note. If you want to do that in your brain, it's going to basically be for the next 8 hours. I don't know if it's going to be relevant based on how long this goes, but technically everyone just healed up 5 points as well. So
wait, so if I was at 8 points, I go to my max and then 5 additional?
You go to 13 because you get 5 more points, but your max total is now up by 5 as well. So it kind of moves both like parallel.
Got you. Okay.
For 8 hours.
Okay.
That's cool.
Cool. Zendri, anything else you want to do on your turn?
No.
Okay.
Well, can you move me a little bit closer?
Yep. How close do you want to go? You can probably get all the way there. Yeah. Or do you want to stay a little bit in the back?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Keep me a little bit in behind.
Okay.
But close enough. Yeah. Okay.
Then Flux, that brings it back to your turn.
All right. I'm gonna keep knocking this hole down with my longsword.
Cool. Go ahead and roll your attack.
You just like saying longsword.
I do. Just like you like to say dissonant whispers.
Dissonant whispers. Cool. So, Flux, how do you want this guy to die?
I want him to get stabbed in his head, and his brain and whatever's in that noggin just goes splattering out everywhere.
So you just like...
I'm just right through the head.
Yeah, you're so just angry and
pissed.
upset with how poorly you've been treated in this fight, and everything has just been targeting you. And you take it all out in the killing blow of this creature as his head basically just destroys itself like a melon collapsing as you kind of go through it with a sword. Just blood and guts and fur everywhere. And basically all that's left is like the lower half of his jaw and his little tusks pointing up into the air. But you are done. Combat is over, friends.
Yay!
Finally.
You have managed to send off this patrol. Anything you guys want to do before you wrap up here?
Do they have any valuable items on them?
Roll an investigation check.
I'm gonna go for whatever I can.
Torin said, "Give me the loot."
Give me the loot. Give me the loot.
Oh yeah. Time.
All right, so Torin, you find on the anchorite's corpse, you find a potion, and it looks like a healing potion. It's pretty large though, so you can assume this is a potion of greater healing. I can add that into your inventory for you. You also just among the other orcs, you find collectively about 20 gold pieces.
Hey.
Hey, look at that.
Take it.
So let me add those things into your inventory. Are you taking all the gold, or are you going to disseminate it, Torn?
I'm taking it all.
Cool. All right, 20 gold pieces to Torn.
We'll use it to buy some brewskis.
And you also get a potion of greater healing.
You're freaking like loot finder, dude. That's what you're all about.
That's my character, bro.
Way to stay true.
Try it.
All right, so you
I
have
know.
both
I
those
get all the
things.
weapons. He gets all the loot.
I get all the women.
It's still pretty early in the day. Probably like barely noon at this point. You're a little beaten up. Kind of up to you if you guys want to continue forward, take a short rest or a long rest. Kind of depends on what your guys' game plan is.
I need a long rest because I'm at only 13 points.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Cool.
To kind of reset before we go into it more.
Yeah, you guys want to make camp here for a bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know what's ahead, right? There's no like.
Yeah, the road kind of continues. You haven't gone to the location that Xanth has marked off on his map yet.
Yeah, I guess so. Right here. Kind of scary.
Is someone keeping watch as you guys kind of make camp here, or are you gonna try to like hide in the woods a little bit further? You're just gonna like plop down right here where you are.
I don't think we should plop down here, given that one orc kind of ran off and might want to come back. I'd say either one of us takes turns, or we go into the woods a little bit.
Yeah. I'm trying to go in the woods a little bit.
Want to go back to creepy dolls or what?
No. Let's
No.
not go to sleep there.
Want to sleep under the creepy dolls?
So I would
You
like.
You would.
Who's gonna like start
Creep.
setting up the camp? Is it gonna be like all of you together, or is one person gonna do it?
To do what, Nate? I'm sorry.
To like find a place to camp and set up.
Yeah, because Jordan, you want to go into the woods?
Yeah, I think let's just stay safe in the woods, maybe.
Cool.
Yeah.
Torn, roll a survival check for me. Okay. You think you found a spot that'll work. You're not 100% sure. It does seem pretty quiet and kind of off the beaten path. You set up a little bit of a campsite with a little bit of a fire going to kind of keep you guys kind of warm as the night progresses. It's still pretty early in the day, so you haven't bed down just yet. But you can camp here for the bit and stay off your feet for a bit. You can decide if you'd like to go to continue onward at nighttime, or if you'd like, you can go in the dawn. It's kind of up to you.
I mean, I think we should go at dawn, to be honest with you, with how crazy it got today. I don't know if it'll be the wisest choice to go at night. What do you guys think?
Smart giving the other one away.
Yeah, I second your notion there.
Yeah, maybe we just set up camp, we sleep for the night, and then in the morning we can get up and like we can just rotate turns and take turns like keeping watch. So everybody gets some rest.
Yeah.
So who's gonna keep watch? We're probably gonna do 3 watches here, I think.
Who has the least amount of points? I'm at 13.
I can start it off.
I can do first watch. I didn't take much damage, and I got a lot of rest, so I still feel pretty good.
Okay.
So Seducious, roll a perception check for me.
Okay.
Cool.
Getting high rolls tonight.
Yeah, nailing it. You hear a rustling from the perimeter of your camp. And as you turn to look, you hear and like this guttural voice, and then like fast footsteps moving away.
Did you say I heard like where? Or I just heard I didn't hear the area.
You heard it. It seemed like it was kind of on the perimeter of your camp, behind your direction, essentially.
Okay. Okay.
And you hear like a grumbling. Do you speak? What languages do you speak?
That is a fantastic question, actually.
On your character sheet, if you look in your like lower left area, should be an area for like proficiencies in languages.
So just celestial and common.
Okay, yeah. So you don't understand what it was said, but you hear this guttural noise, and it just runs off.
I mean, I can see in the dark. So do I see? I don't see anything, right?
You don't see. You just heard it.
Okay.
It seemed relatively far off. Like whatever it was trying to keep a safe distance as it was trying to watch you.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna acknowledge that I heard it, but I'm not gonna take any action at the moment on that.
Cool. So the hours kind of passed by. Seemed for the most part beyond that seemed calm. who's going to take watch after you?
Okay.
Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Nate, should we all hit long rest
Yes.
yet, or do we want us to wait?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, we're all going to get through it one way or the other. That's fine. Yeah, so the kind of evening progresses. You take the shift that kind of sees day turn to night, and then night kind of progress a little bit. Nothing out of the ordinary seems to stand out to you, Torn, as you hand off your watch. And who's going to watch after you? Go ahead and roll a perception check for me. Cool. So again, the night progresses. It's now kind of leading into the dawn time as you've had enough rest to kind of stay up. It doesn't seem as though anything really strikes the camp, and you seem relatively secure as you wake up your friends in the morning. It's now pretty early on, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock-ish, and you are rested. Everyone feel free again to hit long rest. Make sure you've got all your abilities back. You've reset everything. And you can continue moving in the direction that Xanth gave you if you'd like.
Yeah, let's go.
Good morning.
So you kind of keep moving in that direction. As you're kind of going through that way, can I get a marching order just so I know who's like in what space and how we're going?
I still grab my skeleton horse who was hiding, and I don't mind being in front with my skeleton horse. It makes me feel powerful to ride that thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I should have seen what happened to it in the meantime.
Yeah. How come when I hit long rest it doesn't reset my hit points and stuff? I have to do that manually.
When you hit it, it kind of like starts this like confirm timer. When it gets to it, make sure you click it again to confirm it.
Oh. Got it.
Did I do it now?
Yeah. Cool. But yeah, I'll be in front with my skeleton horse. I'm gonna name my horse Victor too. I call it Victor.
Okay. I feel good about that.
Yeah.
I guess I'll be like right behind Victor.
Hey.
I'll be behind you.
All right, so you guys start walking kind of for a little bit, and after not too much further, you start to notice that the area that you're walking, fewer and fewer trees. It starts to thin out into a bit of a clearing, but a pretty sparse clearing. It's not. It's big, but there's still some smattering of trees. It's just really like a large clearing space. And as you kind of come upon this 60-foot wide clearing, in the middle of it is this needle-like, like these needle-like stones, these really tall stones, kind of setting around the edges of it. And it seems as though you can kind of see these storm clouds starting to swirl around these stones that are kind of circled on top of this. Like center area where it kind of goes up into like a massive mound as you get closer into this kind of hill that you're seeing. And from afar, you can see that there are two figures atop this kind of giant hill with stones on it in this middle of this clearing. And they seem to be dancing through these stone hinges. You can kind of see them come in and out of your vision as they kind of weave between these huge standing stones. So basically, you see this. You see that in front of you. And the two figures seem to be right in the central area with... well, let's see if you notice this. Who went first again? Was it...
Me.
Can you roll a perception check? And I'll say because you're on the horse, roll an advantage because you'll have a little bit of a sight line here.
Just gonna roll it again, right?
Yep. Cool. So you can actually see that there are these small little figures as well. They don't seem like human. They're like Paquito, like no bigger than like maybe to their their knee or maybe their waist even. These small, thin, stickly figures kind of dancing around these two humanoids that seem to be dancing up of this hill. This is, by the way, the area on the map that Xanth described.
Where are we in proximity to this?
Good question. You are coming in from the south of it, based on the trail you took. So you are basically right at the bottom of the map. Every time this thing. Screen share, Jorge. Come here, you. Share it again for you. So you're you're approaching from the southwest, basically.
Got it.
Can I try and do an Arcana check to maybe understand more about what I'm seeing?
Roll a nature check for me. Actually, I'll let you choose. You'll probably learn different things, so you can choose Arcana or nature, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Arcana.
Go ahead and do your check. Yeah, so you can't quite tell what the creatures are, but you can tell that the two figures that are dancing are somehow. It seems like almost like a summoning circle, like they're trying to bring something there, based on the movements and the circular patterns that they're making, and it does seem connected to the storm clouds above. The other thing that you can recognize, you kind of assume based on what Xanth said was here and what Falcon said was here and the other that you said was here, that the two bigger creatures, at least on the top of this hill, are other anchorites of Talos, these other boar shape-shifting creatures that are somehow summoning something likely connected to Talos, their thunder god.
Yeah.
So it does seem like it would be a dangerous situation.
Yeah.
But this is what Xanth has asked you to do.
So, wait, since he rolled an Arcana, can I, since I'm right behind him, can I roll a nature check? That way we can tag team what this might look like?
I'll allow it.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Smart gal.
I try.
And you see nothing.
Ask me one more time, Seducius.
So yeah, it's hard to really make out. These other creatures that are there, the best you can tell is they don't seem, they're definitely not humanoid. They seem to be made out of sticks, but you don't know exactly what they are.
Okay, well.
What are we doing?
Guys, some crazy shit going on in the middle of that circle. There's some other two big ass dudes over there that we fought already. I needed help figuring out how to slice this. I kind of feel like maybe we should go for the shit in the middle. That's kind of creeping me out, and then go for those big dudes.
Yeah, or if those big dudes are controlling the shit in the middle and we take those guys out, if we take those guys out, then maybe those things are done for?
Oh, are the big dudes controlling the shit in the middle?
I don't know.
Zendri, can't you don't you have emo ability to figure out what's good and bad in this world?
Emo ability?
Check traps, ho?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, two things. One, do your emo thing on those dancing spirits, and two, when we're all done battling, do that emo thing when I want to, talk to my next girlfriend over here. Let me know what's up.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Denver. Don't do it.
Oh, man. So yes, I'd like to cast my Detect Evil and Good.
So just a point of clarity on that one. Detect Evil and Good gives you a pot within 30 feet. These things are definitely further than 30 feet.
I'm definitely far away. Where am I?
Go sneak. Do your little cat sneaky thing. I've seen you do it. Seen you sneaking out of those rooms. Do that.
Wow. Here we
Can
go.
I get within distance?
You can try. It's a pretty open clearing, so sneaking here might be kind of hard.
There's just trees around
Put
it.
me behind those
Hey.
trees.
All right. Roll a stealth check.
Go climb a tree.
I want 2 rolls from you. I want a perception check and a stealth check.
If this doesn't work, Torin should turn into a snake and slither through. and
Actually,
see
let's
if we can
unlock
get
the
it.
poisonous one.
I just
Let's
wanna
go!
check one quick thing for you, Zendri. I just need to find
Oh,
it.
look, Bella's watching. Let me see.
Hi, Bella. She's like, Mom, you make a shit cat. Just so you know, if you could like
Wow.
maybe not be a terrible example to like my whole kind, I'd appreciate that. Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Triggered.
Yay.
Triggered, Nate.
Don't be mad at me. That was Bella.
Okay. All right.
I just wanted to check a quick thing. Do you have? No. Okay. So you do. You try to sneak up, and as you're sneaking up, you start to notice as you're kind of circling the hill, trying to find different places to land. You notice that there's actually a few different areas that seem to be like cave entrances connected into the cliff or into the hill here. So there's, I'll mark them here for you, the ones that you're able to see. There's one here, and there's one along the other side. There also seem to be little hatches kind of dug into the hilltop that you can see is here. One here and one here. You make it to about there. When you catch your foot,
Oh.
this like scribbly line,
Oh, okay.
where you don't notice this gnarled root sticking out of the ground, and you catch it with your toe and just doosh as you kind of fall face first and your armor clatters. And I need everyone to roll initiative. And actually, before we roll initiative, I think it's 11 o'clock. I do want to get you guys out of here a little earlier than normal with what's coming up tomorrow. So I think we'll probably pause our adventure there, and we'll reconvene some point in time in the future.